All right, now we have a very special presentation to make, and we need your attention, because this is what Lending Hearts is all about. It's about families who need help. It's about families who have very difficult roads to travel. And when you're in that position, man, all the help you can get is very much necessary, and then some. And that's where Lending Hearts comes in, and that's why Vaso started this foundation for so many years ago, because so many people needed help. And every year we try to show you what that's like with first-person accounts, people who've gone through it. So tonight we have a very special young lady. Her name is Penelope. She just turned 10 years old, and she has had a very difficult road. When you talk about diagnosed cancer at a very young age, I'm just going to tell you some of the things she's had to endure. 42 consecutive weeks of chemotherapy, 24 weeks of maintenance chemotherapy, 5 weeks of protein radiation, 5 blood transfusions, and 4 surgeries. She is a warrior. I don't know any other word to describe her. So Penelope is here, and her family's going to share that story with you. So please welcome the Bylers, Melvin, Kylie, and the rest of the family. Would you please come on down? And Penelope, 10-year-old Penelope, who is doing extremely well today in every facet of her life. We have so many great doctors and hospitals in Western PA, and we also have Lending Hearts there to help along the way. So come on down, Bylers, and this is Penelope right here in a beautiful purple gown. Let's hear it for Penelope.
Hi, I'm Kylie. I'm Mom. This is Penelope. This is Dad, Melvin, big brother Timothy, and this is Princess Portland. Want to tell them hi? No? I'm nervous, so. When we think of childhood cancer, we think of laughter, playgrounds, scraped knees, and big dreams. We think of children growing, learning, and feeling safe, but for far too many families, childhood is interrupted by a word no one is ever prepared to hear: cancer. Childhood cancer doesn't just affect a child, it affects the entire families. It changes bedtime stories into hospital rooms, play dates into treatment schedules, and carefree days into moments of fear and uncertainty. When Penelope turned just a young age of 2, she was the happiest toddler in the world, and we took a trip to Disney World. There were beautiful memories made, but a short 6 months later, with minimal signs, such as a sinus infection, Penelope found herself in a hospital room in respiratory distress. We had visited the emergency room 3 times in 2 weeks. She was snoring, bleeding from her nose, very congested, and not responding to antibiotics. We visited the pediatrician and we switched her antibiotics to something stronger, and we were told to just give it 5 more days. But in that long 5 days, symptoms persisted, still had random nosebleeds, and only when she was sleeping, her breathing was a nightmare. One evening at home, Penelope was sleeping until she wasn't. She started gasping for air. As parents, her dad and I jumped into action, pulling her up from her bed and started smacking her on her back as if she was choking which in reality is exactly what she was doing. She was choking on a blood clot. She finally passed that blood clot, and her tiny body was so tired, and we had no idea how our lives were about to flip upside down. We rushed her again to the emergency room for about a 3-hour visit. Vitals were normal, other than her respiratory rate. Blood results were almost perfect, and we were about to be discharged. And that is when Penelope fell asleep in my arms, and her tired body lay there, and her breathing was so scarce, every muscle in her neck was visible to the doctor. The doctor had finally seen what I had been describing for weeks. We rushed her in for a CT scan, which found a full 100% occlusion in her nasal cavity. We were told it was just her tonsils and adenoids, and that she needed a tonsil and adnectomy this weekend. We were sent to Children's Hospital of UPMC for about an hour ambulance ride away. We were transported to the ICU, and I personally thought to myself, isn't this just a little dramatic for just needing tonsils and adenoids removed? Over the next 4 hours, Penelope made a turn for the worst, going into respiratory distress, being rushed to the OR. Time frozen, everything was silent in my mind. Everyone around was moving in full speed, but I can assure you I was watching everything in slow motion. Mom, sign here. Mom, we need consent for surgery. Mom, we need to see what we're dealing with. About 20 minutes, but felt like a lifetime, Dad and I found ourselves face to face with a surgeon who stated, "We found the mass. It's in the soft palate of Penelope's mouth. We sent it off for a biopsy, and we should have the results in 5 days." Penelope had a breathing tube placed and attached to a ventilator until the results were back. And on July 27th, 2018, we received the biopsy results. Your child has cancer. July 27th, 2018, ironically, Dad's birthday, Penelope started chemotherapy. 6 full days, many sleepless nights, we were stuck with an unimaginable diagnosis of rhabdomyosarcoma. It is a cancer that forms in the soft tissue, often in the muscles that can control movement. It is most commonly affects children, sometimes very young, and it can appear in places like the head and neck, arms, legs, bladder, and/or reproductive organs. Because it grows in parts of the body we don't always think to check, it can be difficult to diagnose. Penelope's case, her 6-centimeter tumor, which was about the size of a cutie orange, grew in her nasal cavity above her soft palate and started down her throat, closing off all airway. These children face challenges that most adults would struggle to endure: endless doctor's visits, painless treatments, hair loss, long days away from school, friends, and family. But Penelope showed a strength I didn't know was possible. While she faced pain and uncertainty and exhaustion, she still smiled. She still found joy in small moments. She taught me what courage truly looks like, not the absence of fear, but the ability to keep going despite it. 42 consecutive weeks of chemotherapy, 24 weeks of maintenance chemotherapy, 6 weeks of proton radiation, 5 blood transfusions, 4 surgeries, 48 medical sedations, 3 PET scans, 8 MRIs, 7 TC scans, and a well-deserved celebration while ringing the bell loud and proud on November 22nd, 2019, while she remains in remission ever since. Yet through this journey, we also discovered something very powerful: hope. Hope in research, hope in doctors, hope in nurses, and hope in lending hearts who dedicate their lives to saving children, hope in communities that rally together, raise awareness, and refuse to let these children fight alone. Despite all this, children with cancer show us something extraordinary: strength. They smile through treatments, laugh through pain, and continue even when the odds are against them. Their courage reminds us what true bravery looks like. Lending Hearts has helped our family in so many ways, from feeling normal again to reconnecting with the outside world, to finding our ability to believe in ourselves and believe there is good in the world again. Miracle Workers, as what we call Lending Hearts, helps families similar to our situations connect and feel normal. These children find friendships, courage, confidence, and fun, all while learning to become a child again. We are incredibly honored and blessed to be a part of an amazing, loving, and truly wonderful organization like Lending Hearts, and we are so blessed to be able to stand here in front of all of you this evening and share Penelope's story. Every year, thousands of children are diagnosed with cancer. While survival rates have improved, childhood cancer research is still underfunded, and many families continue to fight for better treatments and cures. Awareness matters because awareness leads to funding, and funding leads to hope. We may not all be doctors or researchers, but for every one of us who can make a difference, we can support organizations like Lending Hearts and stand beside families going through this fight. Help spread awareness, and these children are never forgotten. Today, we honor the children who are fighting, remember those who have lost, stand with the families who carry this journey in their hearts every day. Let us choose compassion. Let us choose action, and most importantly, let us choose hope. Because every child deserves the chance to grow up, and every child is more precious than gold.